Hi again folks, how yous all doing? This is a Hornby Class 51XX Large Prairie that was sent to me by Rob. He said it started running badly and stopping, but would run again after leaving it for a bit before stopping again. He also told me that the motor spins when power is connected to it directly. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. No, I'm not getting any movement. But the meter is moving a little bit. Okay, let's get it into the shed and we'll see if we can see what's up. Okay then, let's get a look at this Large Prairie. I'm not in a very good mood today. This was the day I was supposed to be getting my shed done, but the company texted me this morning to say that one of the guys is off sick, so they're going to have to reschedule, which is really annoying because I've spent an awful lot of time clearing the shed out, an awful lot of work. I took the electrics out, I've taken the door off, I've taken a side gate away. It's all just sitting there, you know, waiting to get taken away because the company I've hired come in, take the shed away, build a new base, put the new shed in. They're the only company I could find that actually did, you know, everything. But there's going to be a delay. It's just really annoying. I don't think I've ever once hired a tradesman and have them turn up on the agreed date. You know, the first date, yes, we can start on such and such a date. I don't think I've ever once had them do that. There's always been a delay. If they tell you in advance, you know, like a week ahead or a few days ahead, no, sorry, we can't do it, it'll need to be. I don't mind that so much, but I got emails yesterday from this company saying, yes, so-and-so, you know, they gave me the guys' names, they'll be coming here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think, great. And then they didn't show, and then I get a text. So, yeah, not happy about that. It's just really annoying. Anyway, let's get a look at this prairie. So, yeah, Rob said this had been running a bit oddly and then stopped, but would run again after a bit. But as far as I could see there on the layout, it just wasn't running at all. Nice model though. Quite like a Prairie. Not for my layout, of course. It's a Great Western locomotive, but yeah, nice engine. So we'll open it up and see what's going on. We'll get the sponge. I've got all the brake rods on, getting in the way of the screws. I wonder if I can get into that front screw. I'm trying to see if there's a rear screw. That's the screw out. Another annoying thing about the shed thing is I've got a hybrid car, and the power socket that I plug it into for charging was in the shed. That's all been taken away, so I'm now having to charge my car by putting the charger through one of my front windows. And I can't close the window, open the cables through it and all the rest of it, so it's just, for goodness sake. Anyway, right, you don't want to hear me moaning about, oh, got two big screws at the sides there, didn't notice those before. There's a screw in there and a screw in there. You don't want to hear me moaning about sheds. Right, is that one out? Is that now? Yeah, this is now just going to lift out, I think. Yeah, that's good, another couple of turns. That's it. Come on. There we go. We've got a 5-pole skew-bound motor, 8-pin socket, blanking plate. There's some hoogery-doogery on the blanking plate and the socket, so I'm immediately suspecting that might be the problem. Something's blown. This might need a new socket. So I think the first thing to do is take this blanking plate out and we'll stick another one in. There's pin 1 there, right. Stick that in. See if it runs. Nope. So if it's not the blanking plate, it could well be the socket, or it could be the motor. But Rob did say the motor span okay when you applied power directly to it. You've got to be careful doing that. Certainly if there's a decoder fitted, don't do that. take the blanking plate out again. It should be okay to apply a bit of power. Right, what happens when we apply power directly to the motor? Yeah, it spins. So, I do think we've got a dodgy socket. Plug that back in, and we'll get this on the rolling road and have a fiddle around with it, I think. Yep, nothing. Connection between those wheels. Connection between there. There. So power is getting to the socket, but it doesn't seem to be getting from the socket. Let's just see if the wires are okay. Yeah, everything seems okay apart from the socket. I think we need a new DCC socket. I shall go online and see if one is available. I think any 8-pin one will do, to be honest. I wonder if I've got one. Might have a dig around. I might have one actually, but we'll see what we can get. Right, okay, been online, and surprise, surprise, a direct replacement socket for this particular model, you know, one with all the hooji-madoojery on it, is not available. You can get a standard socket, but I've got one of those in my spares. That's just the standard socket, and that would work fine, I think. But I'm just going to try shorting some of these little components just to see what happens. It's not doing anything. Because using the multimeter, I've checked all the wires, I've checked the connection between the solder joints on the back of the socket with the, you know, the holes in the socket, they all seem good, it seems fine with the blanking plate. So the fault, I think, must be with one of these components, or I don't know what they are, diodes or something, because the wires are connecting to them. Oh, there we go. It's that one. That's the one connecting to the negative pickup. So I think if we put a wee wire across that and short it, bit of solder. Actually, if we desolder the component, I think that'd be a better idea. Take the component out and just put a piece of wire across it. I think this will work. So it's that there that's faulty. So I think if we just remove it and connect it up, it'll be fine. There we go, that's it off. See if we can get that in. It's a wee bit wire. There we go, bridge that. So not the neatest job in the world, but I've soldered a wee wire across those two terminals. And I think that'll work. I hope it works. I'm sure it will. Let's stick it on the test track and see. Right, let's see if this goes. Yes, it does. I don't think we're quite out of the woods with this yet. I just quickly took it onto the layout there because when I put it on the test track, it seemed to run a bit slow, and it was pulling nearly 500 milliamps. So I put it on the layout, and yeah, it's very slow and a little bit hesitant in places. So there's more up with this, I think, than just that socket. So we'll open it up, have another look at it. Cup of tea first. So I don't much like the look of that lubricant, so we'll clean that out. But I think we'll have to have a closer look at the motor, because it's maybe got a problem. Yeah, that is all a bit gunky and horrible in there. So what we'll do is we'll connect this up to the track again, and we'll see what kind of current draw the motor pulls on its own. And we'll see if we get a constant speed and stuff. So that's the motor at full power, and it's pulling about 100 milliamps, so that's fine. And it's running at a constant speed. No smell of burning. No, I think the motor's fine. I think we've just gunked up lubricant. But I've had, a similar problem with my J36s. If you don't run them for about 2-3 weeks, they kind of seize up, and if you run them for a while, they sort themselves out. But really, I've found quite often the best thing to do is take the gears out, scoosh them, get some fresh lubrication in. But it happens again, and I've tried different types of lubricants. There's just I'm not sure what it is. I think the motor that's in the J36 and the 2MT, and I think it's in the J15 and some other locomotives, I don't think it's got an awful lot of torque. And I think as soon as the mechanism gets a bit, it's got a bit of resistance in it as lubricant starts to dry up, I think it struggles. And I think that's what's happening here. Right, that's good. The pickups are wireless. Seem to be in good condition. Actually, that one could do with a clean, actually. They've maybe got a bit of oil on them. Looks pretty clean. Actually, if anything, there's a lack of oil in the axles. So we'll give a wee bit of a scoosh in there. Right, okay, let's get a bit of oil into these axle bearings because they're a bit dry. And we'll give these pickups a bit of a wee bit of a wipe. Just make sure pickups are always in contact with the wheels. So, right, okay, we'll get this cleaned out, I think. Yeah, it's like blue earwax. Okay, we'll put a dollop of silicone grease in there. And we'll clean the worm gear. Give it all a good scoosh. And then we'll try and pop this motor back in. These bearings are quite a tight fit. Some oil into them. Right, okay. How's that run now? Okay. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's a lot faster. And the current draw, that's more like it. 250 milliamps. Or less. So yeah, I think we had two issues there, the sticky lubricant in the gearbox and virtually no lubricant in the axles. Giving it a clean out, lubricating everything up, and off it went at a good speed and a reasonable current draw. So that's all it was, thankfully. Right, get it all back together again. But I think that's possibly, you know, the original problem. It was getting, it was probably running a bit hot, and that's what's caused the damage to the socket. Not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if these little components on these sockets burn out very easily. I'd rather not see anything on the socket or the blanking plate. But there you go. Pop this back on again. And fingers crossed, we're sorted. So there we go, another case of a model being a bit gunked up with dry lubricant, and you know, that was impeding the performance, possibly putting a bit of strain on the electrics. But yeah, give it a clean up, spot of oil. There was no oil on the axles, but yeah, spray out the gears, give them some fresh lubrication. Scooshed out the axles, put some oil in them, and off it went. Just had to replace that wee component on the socket with a wee bit of wire, and there we go, we're sorted. Let's pull it out of the shed. Right, so there we go, that's this Large Prairie sorted out. A case of a dodgy DCC socket and some poor lubrication. It doesn't take much to slow a model down, and any increase in resistance in the mechanism increases the current draw, which increases the risk of electrical component failure. Whether that's what's actually happened here or not, it's impossible to tell. But yeah, it's another example of why you need to maintain locomotives no matter what type or what age. This model actually has a bit of a design flaw. The front and rear trucks don't have enough vertical movement. They hit the underside of the chassis when lifted even very slightly. There just isn't enough space between the top of the trucks and the underside of the chassis. This means that if you've got slight undulations in the track, the trucks can lift the drive wheels off the track. And over points and crossings, that can cause the locomotive to lose pickup and stutter and stop. I've seen one or two locomotives that have a similar problem, but this Hornby Prairie is the worst one I've seen for it. If this was my model, I think I'd be putting the top sides of the trucks on a grinding wheel to try and get a bit more clearance. It's just sloppy design by Hornby there. Anyway, other than that, this is fine now, so I shall get it packed up and sent back to Rob. Catch you later, folks.